everybody. This is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have a fun project for you. It is time for another set of swaps over at artandsassy.ning.com, and I haven't participated in any in quite a while, but I wanted to do a participate in this month's swaps. This month's swap theme for the stick pins are red, white, and blue. So I've got my stick pins all made here and ready to go. Each set has 3 different pins, and I'm really happy with the colors and the way these turned out. Let me just show you some of the things that I have here. These are just some stick pins that I picked up at my local Joann's in the floral section. And then the beads are mostly ones that I picked up on Michael's on sale last week. They were having some for, I think it was $2.50 or something like that. And that's where I got these red ones and these blue ones and these white ones. Now they're kind of odd sizes, which I kind of liked. They were very irregular. And I just like the look of that for these blue ones and these red ones. They almost have little funny things sticking out on the side, but I just thought they turned out really pretty. And then these red ones were long. Now this flat blue bead is from Pink Peacock, and I'll put the link down below, but I thought that that also was a pretty bead. And then this little kind of charm bead was also there at Michael's, as well as these little, they're not really beads. I don't really know how to describe them. They're silver, and they almost remind me of elastic coils, but they're not elastic. So each set of pins, or each set that I make, will have 3 pins in it. But part of the swap is that you need to have a holder. So I decided to make a holder that I saw. It's kind of a Pinterest-inspired deal. And so I saw this picture on Pinterest, and the picture was to make felt pinwheels and then put them on barrettes to use for hair for 4th of July. And I thought, how fun is that? And so I decided I would use the felt pinwheels and make my own little thing of felt pinwheels and do make my holders, but I'm going to multi-purpose the holders, and I'm going to put a barrette on the back so when the stick pins are removed they can have a barrette for the 4th of July. I just thought that was kind of a fun deal. So let's get started. To start with, I made a template. I took a piece of paper. This is just a piece of scratch just trash paper, and I cut a 4-inch square, and then I drew a circle in the middle, and then I drew lines across, and that is my template. So then I took my felt, and I took blue, in this case blue and white. I have another one that I'll show you in a minute that's red, and I adhered them together. That's already been done. Now you could maybe use hot glue. I don't know, I haven't tried that. You could probably the best thing to do would be to sew this, and I didn't really want to sew it. There are different fabric glues that are out there, and when I looked at Joann's, there were several. Fabric Tack is one of them. There's actually even, I believe it's from Aleene's, an actual felt glue, but I just didn't want to spend the money on more glue when I had E6000, and I checked, and it says that E6000 is good for or that it will work on fabric. Now I have to say I'm a little nervous about how well these are going to stay together using the E6000. So I'll just have to test it. My recommendation would be either you sew it or use actual fabric or felt glue. If this doesn't hold up, I'm going to have to go back and re-sew it. So I'm just using that, and I'll give it, you know, overnight or maybe a day or two and make sure that it's good and strong, and if it's not, I'll go back and redo it. So this is what I'm using. It's not what I'm recommending that you use, and it's already a big mess. I've got glue everywhere. But to start with, I just did a big old dab right in the middle, and this is going to be mostly covered so you won't see it. So then you're going to choose a corner, and it doesn't really matter which corner, but you're just going to choose a corner and glue it down. Now you want to be sure and catch both pieces, and the flatter you get it, the better it's going to be. So we're just going to work around the pinwheel. Now you could do opposite corners. I don't like to do that because invariably if I work on opposite corners, what I end up doing is getting confused about what I've already done and making a bigger mess. So I just do the next one over because you want to be sure and fold the correct corner over. Now I am being super generous with the glue because again, I'm not real sure, you know, and I said initially I'm not real sure how well it's going to hold. However, I do have to say that the two pieces that I adhered together at the center point is holding really well. So it probably would be, it's probably going to hold just fine as long as I have all of my pieces really well tucked. Now, I've not used E6000 a lot. I bought this for a project a long time ago and I've used it once or twice, but it does make a bit of a mess on my tray. So if you don't have one of these little brown craft mats or something to keep your stuff from sticking down, I would recommend that you at least put some paper or something, because as you see it just drips almost continually. So this is the last bit of the pinwheel. I'm almost done with that. And like I said, there's a lot of glue here, and I'll have to go back kind of like with hot glue and clean up my strings later. So there we have a pinwheel. So what I've done before when I've made pinwheels, I've made mistakes and I have put two next to each other. So once you get in a pattern, some people find it might be helpful to mark the corners that you want, but once you get in the groove, just be sure that you're using the same quarter. Like for me on this side, I use the right hand corner of each of my triangles to pin it down. So now I want to show you this fabulous crinkle ribbon from 3 Girl Jam. I was so excited when this came out. Last year they had a red, white, and blue pack, and it was red, white, and blue. This year the red, white, and blue pack is blue and red, and then the third ribbon is this white that has both blue and red. Now I'll show you one that I did already with this particular ribbon. I changed for the rest of them and I just went with red and blue. And then I pulled out my white or off-white buttons, my jar of buttons. And this is my first button. Now the Pinterest project did something different for their center, and it was adorable. I really like what they did. They took wood stars and painted them. So if you were doing the blue one with the white like I'm doing here, then they would put a red star in the center. And if you were doing the red with the blue, or red with the white, they would do a blue star, and it was adorable. However, again, I didn't want to buy more product when I didn't really need it, and I wanted to incorporate this great 3 Girl Jam ribbon, and so I thought, well, I'll just do my own thing. And so this is when I came up with the idea of putting it on a button and just tying a bow. Now I ran it through the buttonhole because I'm not going to lie to you, running a ribbon through a buttonhole is a bit of a challenge, but it's doable. So don't let it discourage you because it's very, very doable. You just have to work at it, and I didn't want to waste the time of doing that on camera. And it's worth it. It's worth the effect of having the red, white, and blue. I mean the ribbon instead. You could use twine too, but I just wanted to use my ribbon. So I'm going to hold that in place for a minute and try to make sure it's adhered. And like I said, I'm going to let it sit overnight. I'll come back tomorrow, make sure that it works, and I would recommend that you use something besides the E6000 if you're doing this at home. I just, like I said, didn't want to buy anything different, and I didn't want to really take the time to find needle and thread and all that good stuff and sew. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just cleaning off the tip because I can tell that I'm going to have a good time trying to clean up my mat when I'm all done here. So just put the tip on, and there we have this one. Now I'm going to just move aside my mat so that I can clean it later. And my pick there is going to need a good scrubbing too, because E6000 will make a mess on that if I don't get it scraped off and scraped clean. So now let me show you the different pinwheels I've made. This is a blue one. This is a blue one that I made. This is the first one I made, and though I like that red, white, and blue, I really like the contrast of the pure red with the blue better. but I still love that ribbon. It's just gorgeous ribbon. And then this is the red, and this is almost more of a countryer red. It's a perfect match for the blue, but it's very different than the red that I used with the other blue, as you can see. And that's okay because they're all going to be separate packages. In fact, I made enough for, I need 3 for my swap, and I actually made a few extra, because then what you can do is I just picked up these blank barrettes, Joann's, and I'll go back through and I'll actually sew those on. I don't want to take the chance of gluing it, and it'll just take a couple minutes to just put a couple little whip stitches in the end. There's holes there that you can sew, and you'll just put it on just like that. And I'll probably wear one of these for work because I have to work the 4th of July. And so that is the end of that part of the project. Now, like I said, I want to use these as holders for my for my swap. So let me take one from over here that's dry, and nope, that one's not quite dry. Here we go. I worked on the red ones first, and we'll set these others aside so I can show you the finished project. So we've got this, and again, I'm just going to show you how it fits, and tomorrow I will check it. If it doesn't stay with the E6000, then I will put that in my post. But then I'm just going to run my stick pins right through there. I'll probably have to put a little note reminding them that not to wear it with stick pins. That would hurt. And we'll just put that just like that. So it's just kind of a fun holder for the stick pins, but it's a multi-purpose holder, and when they take out the stick pins, then they can use those on projects, and then they have a cute little bow for their daughter or something if they want to wear it for the 4th of July. So there we have today's projects. Thanks so much for stopping by the 3 Girl Jam blog today and my blog. And remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.